Encaustic Portrait Painting by Vladimir, London. In this video, you will see the complete process of making a portrait in encaustic on paper. I chose paper to experiment with whether this medium is appropriate for hot wax painting. I plan to create a series of small encaustic portraits, and this is the second on that list. Prior to applying beeswax paints, I need a colourful underpainting. Watercolor is very much suitable for this task. Since both watercolor and encaustic mediums are transparent, I have to protect the white paper from erasing and redrawing, as it could harm the surface. Therefore, this sketch was initially designed as a cartoon and then transferred to the watercolor sheet. You can learn how to draw portraits in the Watercolor Academy course. The goal of this underpainting is to establish basic colors and tonal values, making the subsequent application of beeswax paints easier and avoiding the use of thick impasto layers. Since watercolor paper is flexible, I cannot apply heavy layers of wax. However, thin encaustic layers would be too transparent to adequately cover the white surface with the desired saturation and tonal values. This initial watercolor layer will significantly aid in achieving the necessary hues and chiaroscuro effects. Additionally, I am not hesitant to go slightly darker at this stage, as the watercolor will lighten upon drying, and I can wash out certain areas before paint fully dries to achieve lighter shades. This particular brush is excellent at holding a substantial amount of paint and releasing it smoothly, allowing me to create both fine and broad brush strokes with precision. I like Escoda brushes because the company is dedicated to producing high-quality tools. If you're interested in mastering watercolor painting like a professional, I recommend visiting the Watercolor Academy website. This academy offers two types of courses, online and correspondence. The online course provides lifetime access to 80 detailed video lessons covering essential topics for aspiring artists, including watercolor materials, color theory, various techniques, and how to paint different subjects, from still lifes to portraits. Additionally, this course includes unlimited support, offering critiques of your artwork and guidance on improving your skills. For those truly committed to becoming skilled watercolor artists, the Watercolor Academy Correspondence Course is the best option available. It offers unlimited personal tutoring tailored to your individual skills and needs, along with 100 practical assignments covering all necessary topics to help you become proficient in watercolor painting. This level of personalized instruction is unmatched by any art college, especially for such a reasonable one-time fee. We guarantee that by the end of this course, you will have developed advanced watercolor painting skills. Focusing on the small details during the underpainting phase is less crucial than considering the overall colors and values, as it's quite easy to get caught up in fine details when working with wax medium. However, watercolor is excellent for creating intricate details, so I recommend spending a few moments on features like eyes and other facial characteristics. I understand that many artists prefer oil painting to watercolor. If you want to learn how to paint in oils using traditional techniques, check out the Old Masters Academy. There is so much to learn to become a proficient painter in color. The Old Masters Academy is about oil painting. There, you can learn how to paint like the old masters using modern materials. This academy has two courses, the online course and the correspondence course. The online course is a self-learning program that comes with 61 multi-part video lessons and multiple bonus videos. In the correspondence course, you will get a dedicated art teacher who will guide you step by step, task by task, explaining how to paint in oils the same way as the great artists of the Renaissance and Baroque did. In this course, you will get 50 practical tasks. Every step will be explained in depth, so you will know what to do and how. You will receive a constructive critique on every artwork you make within this course. Your mistakes will be pointed out and you will get full feedback with advice on how to fix errors and improve your art. We guarantee that by the end of this course you will become a skillful oil painter should you follow our guidance and complete all 50 tasks with the quality required. There is no way to fail here because with our help and support, you will make simple steps that will lead you to success. I am diluting the first layer and washing out paint in certain areas. This technique allows to achieve a rough chiaroscuro effect more quickly than if I were to apply multiple layers of transparent glazing and wait for each to dry before adding the next. While I wouldn't use this method for a watercolor portrait, it works well for my current project. To become a proficient portrait artist, you also need good knowledge of human anatomy. To help artists like you, we created the Anatomy Masterclass. In this course, you will get a lifetime membership and can study at your own pace. There are no Latin names used in this course, and only those anatomical features that matter are presented there. So you can learn anatomy in a fast and easy way. Don't miss out on its free demo videos to learn more about this class. I want to test whether hot wax paints could be applied directly on watercolor underpainting without ganosis. Ganosis, which I prepare using a specific recipe, is an unpigmented beeswax medium made from bleached beeswax, natural resins, and linseed oil. It remains solid at room temperature and must be heated for application. This medium acts as a sealant, protecting the surface from moisture, air, and temperature fluctuations, functioning both as a varnish and an adhesive that secures encaustic paints to the substrate. While encaustic paints are theoretically expected to bond well with paper, I am curious about their long-term effects on the material. The fatty acids in natural beeswax might potentially weaken the paper over time or diminish the binding strength of the encaustic medium. Although creating swatches of encaustic paints on paper with and without ganosis is a straightforward testing method, my focus is on practicing portrait painting in encaustic. This experiment doubles as an artwork that could endure for centuries or deteriorate within a few years. Only time will reveal the outcome. After experimenting with various encaustic painting techniques, including underpainting with both polychrome and monochrome approaches, I have concluded that a colorful underpainting is crucial for encaustic artwork. It significantly enhances the overall color dynamics and tonal values of the final piece. Once the underpainting is finished, it's time to layer the portrait with encaustic. For this, I utilize my homemade encaustic brush, the Vladimir London Cauterium. This tool features an electric pen that precisely heats the tip to the desired temperature. The tip, made of copper for its excellent thermal conductivity, is held in place by a brass holder that allows for easy tip changes. To enhance the absorbency of the cauterium, a very fine tungsten wire is wrapped around it. Although tungsten conducts heat less effectively than copper, its mechanical properties make it ideal for this application. Tungsten is highly resistant to wear, oxidation and tarnishing, making it an excellent choice for encaustic brushes. The tip reaches around 80 degrees Celsius. This temperature is sufficient to melt the encaustic, keeping it liquid until I apply it to the paper. The medium solidifies almost instantly upon contact with the cold surface, and you can observe each brush stroke turning matte within just 2 to 3 seconds. In fact, the paint dries in mere seconds, making encaustic one of the fastest drying mediums in art. This quick drying time is a significant advantage, but it also presents its own set of challenges. Here are the transparency samples of my homemade encaustic paints. Each small sample is applied over a black line, making it easier to identify whether the paints are transparent, semi-transparent, semi-opaque, or opaque. Each sample is also numbered to facilitate cross-referencing with the chart and paint blocks. These paints consist of a wax-based binder combined with pigments. The binder is made from bleached beeswax and 3 types of natural resins, along with a small amount of linseed oil. The melting point of this medium ranges from 75 to 90 degrees, depending on the specific formulation, which is higher than the melting point of natural beeswax, approximately 64 degrees. This encaustic medium is blended with non-toxic, heat-resistant dry powder pigments that are safe for both health and the environment. For my small-scale artworks, I prefer using smaller encaustic brushes. Over the years, I've created several generations of hot brushes specifically for wax painting. Currently, I utilize a cauterium, but I also have a variety of other brushes, including bristle brushes, felt pen brushes, and cartridge brushes. The sizes and shapes of these tools differ significantly. I have both round and flat brushes in various dimensions, with the smallest round brush measuring less than 1 millimeter in diameter and the largest flat brush reaching 1 inch. I typically reserve the wider brushes for creating abstract backgrounds. After refining my hot encaustic tools through 6 generations, I've developed a versatile selection that meets all my artistic needs. Each brush serves a unique purpose. For instance, bristle brushes are designed to hold just the right amount of wax medium for short strokes, while cartridge brushes can carry enough paint to create a continuous line over 15 meters without needing a refill. Additionally, bristle brushes are excellent for impasto techniques, while cauterium brushes allow for the application of very smooth, thin layers. This variety provides incredible flexibility in my encaustic painting process. Encaustic painting, being a transparent medium, benefits greatly from the technique of optical mixing. Unlike direct painting, where colors are blended on the palette, optical mixing involves layering transparent paints, with each layer enhancing the overall color effect. For instance, when red and yellow are layered, they create a vibrant orange that differs from mixing the same colors directly on the palette. This variation occurs because light passes through the transparent layers, interacting with the pigment particles before reflecting off the white surface beneath. This journey of light results in a unique visual effect, distinct from the light reflected from a single layer of opaque paint. Therefore, establishing a colorful underpainting is crucial, as it significantly impacts the final appearance of the artwork. It's also advisable to use an underpainting that allows the brightness of the ground to shine through, which is why I prefer watercolor for this initial step. I will polish the painted surface with a piece of soft cloth to reveal its natural luster. The beeswax medium is matte, but after buffing up the surface becomes shiny, which I like a lot. However, working with encaustic wax in layers presents its own set of challenges. The encaustic medium solidifies but never fully dries, meaning it can be melted and reworked at any time. This characteristic contrasts with oil or acrylic painting, where a fully dried layer allows for easy application of new paint without disturbing the underlayer. In encaustic painting, the underlying layers remain malleable, making it possible to revisit them with heat. This aspect can be particularly daunting for artists. Without the right tools and skills, managing the wax medium can lead to frustration. Each brushstroke risks disturbing the previous layers, potentially removing paint down to the ground. The transparency of encaustic paints exacerbates this issue, as any mistake becomes immediately visible, showcasing a different texture and value. Correcting these errors often requires re-diluting the paint surface, but subsequent brushstrokes may only worsen the situation rather than resolve it. I recall my own struggles during my early days of encaustic painting, navigating these complexities. Creating artwork can be fraught with pitfalls that can compromise its integrity. For instance, when beeswax paints are overheated, they can become uncontrollable and run. Excessive heat can also lead to the evaporation of long-chain fatty acids, altering the chemical composition of the medium. This change can weaken the binder, resulting in the paint layer flaking off over time. I've observed encaustic artists who, perhaps unaware of these risks, use open flames to manipulate beeswax paints. Some even ignite their pieces to create decorative bubbles and streams of wax, which may appear visually appealing, but ultimately result in compromised works that lack both aesthetic value and sound technique. An alternative method for encaustic painting involves using a natural hog bristle brush along with a hot air gun, though I find this technique less than ideal for several reasons. Firstly, it requires both hands to be occupied, demanding intense focus on the process. This makes it easy to accidentally overheat certain areas, causing the wax to liquefy and run uncontrollably. The constant noise from the airgun can be quite distracting, and after several hours of this method, one is likely to end up with a headache. More importantly, this approach poses health risks, as encaustic paints must remain melted in pans or on a hot plate, leading to continuous inhalation of resin fumes, which can be harmful. Lastly, achieving fine, delicate details is challenging when using a hog brush that needs to be heated with a hot air gun. This technique is better suited for large-scale abstract works, where precision is less critical, which may explain the prevalence of abstract encaustic pieces compared to finely crafted portraits and figurative art. Ultimately, this painting method can restrict an artist's creativity and shape the outcomes of their work. There are alternative methods for working with encaustic paints that I personally do not employ. One such technique involves using a hot iron to spread the wax. This approach leans more towards craft than fine art, as an iron is not the ideal tool for achieving the fine, precise brushstrokes that are often desired. While it might be possible to create a large expressionistic portrait with an iron, it would certainly not compare to the traditional masterpieces crafted by the old masters. My focus, however, is on reviving the ancient practices of realistic encaustic art. This medium has a rich history, originating in Greece over 2,000 years ago. The exact inventor of encaustic techniques remains unknown, but the ancient Greeks used the same term for both beeswax and paint, suggesting that every painter of that era was familiar with encaustic, as it was the primary medium of the time. As Greece expanded its influence, the knowledge of encaustic painting was shared with Egyptian and Roman artists. Although no encaustic works from ancient Greece have survived, numerous beeswax portraits from Egypt can be found in museums worldwide. These artifacts, known as Fayum portraits, were first uncovered in the Fayum region near the Nile and were hidden in tombs for nearly 2 millennia. They adorned the mummies of individuals from various backgrounds, Egyptian, Greek, and Roman, who held significant status in ancient society. It is thought that Fayum portraits were created while the subjects were still alive, showcasing a realistic style that captured their true likeness and character. This tradition of Fayum portraits emerged in the 1st century and continued for approximately 300 years until the decline of the Roman Empire. Over this period, the quality of portrait painting gradually diminished, and by the 4th century AD, Fayum portraits had become less intricate compared to their earlier counterparts. Following the fall of the Roman Empire, Encaustic art did not vanish. Instead, it transitioned into Christian iconography. However, the techniques associated with encaustic painting were eventually lost, and by the early Renaissance, artists had abandoned this medium. Leonardo da Vinci attempted to revive the beeswax painting methods, but his effort to create a mural in Florence was unsuccessful due to his lack of knowledge about properly burning in the encaustic, which led to the destruction of his work from overheating. It wasn't until the 17th century that artists and scholars began to rediscover the secrets of beeswax painting, and this knowledge gradually spread throughout Europe and America over the next 300 years. My exploration of the history of encaustic painting indicates that its origins traveled from Italy and Greece to France, Germany and Belgium, then to Austria and England, and eventually reached Mexico and North America. In the 20th century, numerous recipes for encaustic paints emerged, with various artists experimenting with this medium to create both easel and monumental artworks. The techniques of encaustic painting evolved significantly with the advent of electricity and the introduction of electric heating tools. Despite these advancements, encaustic remains a somewhat niche medium, and many artists find it challenging to work with. I love encaustic painting. It is a truly noble medium that withstood the test of time. I know that my encaustic artworks could last for hundreds of years without fading and disintegrating because the beeswax medium can last for millennia without changing its properties. No other paint would perform as well. I have to say that the painting process requires a deep understanding of this medium. It is not fast nor easy. My mission as the encaustic artist is to revive this ancient medium and develop the recipes and painting techniques that would allow to fully express creative tasks an artist has in mind. To this day, the challenges of hot beeswax painting limit fine artists in numerous ways. There are many questions yet to be solved. I want to put my input into this topic and bring back the challenging and beautiful art of encaustic to its former glory. To fulfill this mission, I share my know-how of making art in encaustic. For many years I was testing various encaustic materials, creating my own binders and wax paints, developing methods and techniques of hot beeswax painting. My knowledge of this medium comes not only from my own experience, but also from scientific research, old texts, visiting museums around the world to see the art of ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian painters who intimately knew the encaustic medium. I tend to create small to medium-size easel paintings in encaustic, which follow the traditions of Fayum portraits. I prepare encaustic binders and paints according to my recipes, and use DIY hot brushes and cauterium to melt and apply encaustic paints on specially prepared grounds with polychromatic underpainting. The surface of paintings bears the marks of brush strokes, which can be applied in impasto or thin and transparent glazing layers. The transparency of encaustic paints creates wonderful atmospheric effects and optical mixing of colors. To see my other artworks in encaustic, visit my website vladimirlondon.com/encaustic. I will tell you a few words about the Life Drawing Academy courses. This academy consists of 2 courses, online and correspondence. In the online course, you will have a lifetime access to 52 multi-part video lessons on portrait and figure drawing. It is a self-learned course that requires some basic knowledge of constructive drawing. If you are a beginner or not sure what constructive drawing is about, then the best option is to take the correspondence course, which we designed to be one of the best drawing courses in the world. To find out what makes this course so special and unique, keep watching. To begin with, in the Life Drawing Academy Correspondence Course, you will get unlimited personal tutoring for a one-time fee. Yes, you heard this right. You will have a lifetime one-on-one teaching from talented fine artists and professional art teachers until you reach the advanced level of drawing skills. We actually guarantee that you will reach the advanced level of drawing skills should you follow our guidance and complete this course. There is no way to fail. Here's how it works. Upon enrollment, you will get a Life Drawing Academy account with full access to all 52 video lessons and a welcome email with all information you need. After you make several test drawings, the Academy tutors will review your drawing abilities, advise what skills and knowledge you are missing, and suggest a drawing curriculum that will be tailored to your level of skills. This curriculum will also take into account your interests and goals. If you want to focus on some specific genre or topic, it will be included into your list of assignments. There will be 100 practical drawing tasks on all the topics you need to learn to get the advanced level of skills. Every assignment will be explained in depth, and you will know what to do and how. Every drawing you make in this course will be reviewed, and tutors will point out your mistakes and advise how to improve. This course is suitable for complete beginners because you will learn everything you need to know. If you already have some art education, you will get topics tailored to your level. You will advance your skills and learn new things. For example, drawing figures in motion or creating figurative compositions that tell a story. The Life Drawing Academy Correspondence Course will help you to cover 4 big areas of professional drawing: constructive drawing, tonal drawing, portrait drawing, and figure drawing. These 4 big subjects consist of many drawing topics which come with multiple tasks. I will now go through the long list of drawing topics that students learn in this course. Stay with me to the end where you will get a special bonus. To get good skills, you need to learn how to use drawing tools, how to sharpen graphite pencils, and how to hold a pencil the right way when drawing large-scale artworks on a vertically positioned drawing board. When you know how to handle a pencil, you could use it for drawing flat geometric shapes with straight lines and smooth curves. You will learn the unique method of drawing perfect ellipses, which I developed for this course. Your tonal rendering depends on hatching skills. In the dedicated task, you will learn the professional techniques of hatching and cross-hatching. In addition to the special way of holding a pencil with the candle grip, you will also get tasks on the writing grip, the fine motor skills test, and calligraphy exercises. Fine motor skills are needed not just for drawing, but for almost every aspect of your life, from decision-making to eye-hand coordination. In this course, you will learn this as well. One of the most needed skills for life drawing is how to measure relative proportions, angles, alignments, and cross points with a pencil, both from life and in drawing. In this course you will learn all the know-how of measuring. Another important aspect is drawing in perspective. Your sense of perspective will be assessed in a special test, and you will receive the full review of your mistakes and areas to improve. To develop your sense of linear and aerial perspective, you will be given a very special task of drawing a cube from life, in which you will make a cube model and draw it with all the rules and steps of perspective. Did you know that there are 16 different types of perspective and 21 perspective drawing rules? If you cannot list them all, this course is definitely for you. Another very important topic you will learn is how to spot mistakes in perspective drawing. There is a special method of drawing a perfect cube from imagination from any point of view. Because every three-dimensional object can be inscribed into a cube, this know-how will help you to draw realistically whatever you see or imagine. Drawing ovals is another subject that not every professional artist is capable of doing well. In this course, you will learn how to draw ovals and ellipses the right way. Drawing cylindrical objects requires a special knowledge of ovals, perspective, and construction. In addition to learning how to draw cylindrical objects, you will also find out how to avoid common mistakes, so your artworks will look professional. Every human or animal figure has cylindrical shapes: necks, limbs, fingers. So, learning how to draw cylinders is not about some mugs or bottles. This skill is needed for figure drawing. In the dedicated tasks, you will learn how to draw standing and reclining cylindrical objects from any point of view. Intersection of objects is another big and important topic a proficient artist, illustrator, architect, or designer should be fluent in. You will learn how to intersect cylinders, and if you are interested in this topic, you will also discover how to intersect other objects with planes at any angle, as well as how to intersect objects with each other. This skill is very much needed for architectural and technical drawing. Many fine artists and illustrators find it very useful for making artworks from imagination. Industrial and concept design depends a great deal on this skill. Good taste in art comes with understanding of classical canons and artistic heritage of the past. In this course, you will get familiar with classical orders by learning the constructive approach of drawing Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian order capitals. You will get special step-by-step demos on how to draw capitals from imagination. Also, you will receive special templates, which you could print out and make three-dimensional paper models. Such models of Doric and Ionic capitals are unique to this course, and you could use it for drawing from life. Designing capitals and architectural details from imagination is another very useful exercise to develop your drawing skills. This task requires not only good knowledge of constructive drawing principles and perspective, but also pushes your creativity to a higher level. Drawing architectural elements from life is another topic that will help you fine-tune your constructive drawing skills. A good artwork is well composed. In this course, you will discover 15 elements of composition and how to use those elements to make works of art that tell your story and move the viewer. You will further develop your drawing skills by composing and drawing still life artworks from life. Do you know 34 constructive drawing principles that aid to depict in a realistic manner anything you see or imagine? If you cannot list them all, this course is for you. One of the topics that will greatly enhance your drawing skills is the know-how of contours. In this course, you will get a dedicated task on how to use contours for making your drawings appear three-dimensional. In addition to wireframe constructive drawing skills, you will also learn tonal rendering. You will discover the theory of tonal values and find out 25 tonal rendering rules that will push your drawing abilities to a higher level. In this course, apart from drawing, you will also learn sculpting. For tonal rendering exercises, you will sculpt a perfect sphere and depict its tonal values from life. You will learn 3 different tonal rendering styles: hatching and cross-hatching, strokeless shading, and combination of them. In-depth demos and instructions will help you to improve your rendering skills. You will also render tonal values of other geometric bodies, such as rhombic-octahedron, cones, hexagonal prism and pyramid, icosahedron and toroid. You will get paper templates, so you could make such models at home to draw them from life. Rendering wavy surfaces will prepare you for tonal drawing of figurative artworks. There are also tasks on assembling still life compositions and drawing them from life with the full knowledge of tonal rendering theory and rules. Drawing from life will also include interior and exterior drawing exercises. All the constructive and tonal drawing skills learned before will become useful for depicting what you see around you. How to draw draperies and clothes is another topic a figurative artist must have sufficient knowledge about. You will find out the theory of folds, how to draw draperies and objects covered with clothes. In addition, you will discover how to sketch objects of nature, such as trees and bushes, twigs and leaves. This will prepare you for drawing landscapes both from life and imagination. How to draw cityscapes is another interesting subject you might be interested in, especially if you ever plan to make artworks with an urban environment. After learning the know-how and developing good practical skills of constructive and tonal drawing, you will be prepared for the next big subject, portrait drawing. Your proficient portrait skills will depend on how well you know the human head anatomy. That is why you will learn the proportions of a skull. You will get very special templates for making human skull paper models. These models are life-size and have accurate proportions. They are unique and only available for the Correspondence Course students. Learning the muscular anatomy of a head gives good comprehension of the head surface. Another very handy paper model will help you to discover planes of a human head. These planes not only describe the construction, but also provide a visual guidance of how tonal values depend on the head's shape. The assignments on portrait drawing will include sculpting of facial features and drawing them from life at various angles. Students receive special templates that help to sculpt realistic nose, mouth, ears and eyes from the first attempt, even if you have not sculpted anything ever before. Such templates are developed specially for the Correspondence Course students and not available anywhere else. The tasks on facial features include sketching from life and imagination. Another topic that every portrait artist must know is how to connect the head to the neck and shoulders. In this course, students get a unique paper model template that shows the construction, proportions, and anatomy of the shoulder girdle. This is the world's first model of such a girdle made of paper. The know-how of portraiture comes with 51 portrait drawing rules. These rules explain the main proportions of a human head, show levels and alignments of facial features, describe ratios of various dimensions to each other, give classical canons of proportions, clarify anatomical features of the skull and neck, provide the know-how of drawing eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, and advise how to use constructive anatomy and perspective. Such rules are explained in the dedicated video lesson, and no other course had ever collected all those rules in one place before. Students draw portraits from life and imagination from various points of view with the full understanding of anatomy and construction. Another important and advanced topic of portrait drawing is depicting emotions. In this course, you will find out how to portray 30 different emotions by learning facial anatomy, making diagrams and multiple sketches. After learning how to draw realistic portraits the professional way, you will come to the next big subject, figure drawing. In the Life Drawing Academy course, you will discover 3 different canons of classical proportions of a human figure. This will help you to come up with your own set of rules of proportions. By making a sculpted model of a small figure, you will learn the geometry of the rib cage, the shoulder girdle and main muscles that influence the upper body appearance. Sketching this model will enable you to effortlessly depict figures from imagination from any point of view. This knowledge will also help you to better draw a human body in any pose from life. In addition to the upper body anatomy, you will discover the pelvis and spinal column construction, anatomy of legs, knees and feet. Anatomy for artists will be fully covered in this course. Such anatomy is very different from the anatomy for medical students. As an artist, you only need good understanding of the skeletal construction and those muscles that shape a human body. In this course, you will discover the shapes, functions, origins, and insertions of such muscles. Making diagrams, sketches, and anatomy drawings will put your figurative drawing skills on a higher level. One of the difficult subjects that many artists have trouble with is drawing arms and hands. To solve this challenge, you will get a very special paper model of a hand. This model is also unique to this course and only available for the students who take personal tutoring. In a dedicated task, you will draw the paper model and real hands from life. How to draw hands and arms will be fully covered in this course. Apart from drawing hands, you will also sketch arms from life to understand the pronation and supination of an arm. You will learn good tips on gesture sketching and how to depict human figures from any angle in any pose. All this knowledge and experience will prepare you for drawing standing, sitting, and reclining figures. We will tell you how to get models and how to go without models when drawing from memory and imagination. The know-how of figure drawing will give you the necessary skills of making figurative compositions with 2 and more figures to tell your story according to your creative vision. If you are interested in character design, this subject can also be included into your drawing curriculum. If your passion is in manga or animation, the course tutors will help you to get the necessary skills of character stylization. Whatever your interest is, animalistic or botanical drawing, urban sketching, industrial or architectural design, good drawing skills will be needed to fulfill your dream. This is what the Life Drawing Academy course is about, giving you the necessary know-how and practical experience in drawing whatever you see or imagine. This correspondence course is tailored to your skills and interests. It comes with a lifetime membership for a one-time fee and provides unlimited personal one-on-one tutoring till you get the advanced level of drawing skills. Now, the promised bonus. If you are not sure which level of drawing skills you have according to high standards of traditional art education, check out this video and you will be surprised to find out how much you may be missing. This video will open your eyes on what you need to learn to become a professional fine artist. The link is available in the description. To see examples of drawing tutorials from the Life Drawing Academy online course, check out lifedrawing.academy/free.